Hi, everyone. This is the Revamping Your Resume workshop. I'm Laura Reed. I have a background in sociology and career development. I got the career development professional certificate from Conestoga College. I have a couple of contracts that I've done through Employment Ontario, working as an employment counselor. I have a background in student advising from George Brown College, and I am happy to be with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. My name is Katarina, and I'm Human Resources Manager and Career Coach. I started my career in Canada as an international student, and I have experience. I have worked a little bit as an accountant, and then I started in HR because that is my passion. I also worked with many job seekers, international students, helping them, like getting their dream job. And I really enjoy working with like people and help them with their resumes, like preparing them for interviews, and also supporting them throughout their journey.
Awesome. Thank you. Devant, we like to help international students and alumni stay at work and succeed in Canada. Devant in French means to get in front of. And that's what we're going to aim to help you with. We help you to get ahead of the competition and in front of employers so that you can build your dream Canadian career. You can log into your career support portal to jump in, and your job resources will be there. You can ask career services how to do that as well. Perfect. So before we get started, it's an interactive workshop. I'm not sure if you can turn on your webcams, but if you can't, that's okay. We just encourage you to participate and chat, ask questions. Feel free to unmute yourself. So this is being recorded and will be emailed to everyone on the call so that you can refer to it back later. Our future sessions are listed under the events tab at devant.ca/all-events. Awesome. We're going to start beginning with the Devant's resume tool. Secondly, we're going to start with the live resume interview. Part 3 is going to be bonus tips, and part 4 is the question and answers. Okay, just a few best practices for writing your resume. Just to start us off, limit personal information. So sometimes people put their whole address in, like exactly where their home location is, and they don't have to do that. So you can just put your city and the province that you're in. Another one is to focus on accomplishments instead of tasks. I actually have a little example that I've written out that I have on my resume. The one thing that I wouldn't want to put on is that I helped job seekers search and helped clients find employment. That's very generic. There's not a lot of substance to that. So what I have on my resume instead is helped over 25% of registered clients attain offers of employment within 6 months during the pandemic. Lots of accomplishment. It gives it context as well so people know what you're talking about. For number 3, you want to create a tailored resume for each job posting, which means that you want to look at the qualifications that the employer has written and make sure that they are in the resume as well. And then the fourth one is be concise. You don't want to go too on or ramble about what you've done. Sometimes also when you try to be a bit too wordy, it gets confusing. So you don't have to worry about it being too wordy. Just make it concise and simple enough while making sure you're getting your point across.
I would like to add, if that okay. As an HR manager, like we and recruiters, hiring managers, we all go through like so many resumes, especially we're hiring for a role. We might receive like over like hundreds resumes for the same job posting. Like it is important. You probably know this, that most of the hiring managers and recruiters, they will look at the resume, like 5 to 10 seconds, 15 the most. So what Laura said, like it is very important to just like add the most important things, which is like your skills, your accomplishment, something that will like catch the eye, like, you know, like catch their attention, sorry. So in that way, that will be, because the resume is the marketing tool, right? Like really presents who you are. And that resume, those skills that you list there, they will potentially get you the interview. And if you do really well on the interview, might get you the job. Another thing that I find when I review a lot of resumes, it's the first thing that we talked about, limit personal information. I know like in different countries, adding your picture, adding like personal information, it's a common thing. That's the style. That's how, you know, like things are done there. But in Canada, that it's not the case. You limit including any personal information. So like Laura said, just like add your name, add the town, you know, like, and I always like to include my LinkedIn page. So like a link from that you can just add to your resume. So that's, you know, like the recruiter and hiring managers can look you up on LinkedIn and kind of like learn more about, you know, like your experience and things that you have done. And the last thing that I want to say, I really like when I see accomplishment statements instead of tasks. So the buzzword that I feel like all of the recruiters and hiring managers are saying is when they see responsible for in a resume, it's something they're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to read that anymore. Because like with responsible for, you're just like telling them your tasks. Like they want to hear about your accomplishments. They want to hear the things that you did in your previous job. So make sure that you focus on that and have one section specifically dedicated for skills, because that's where like people will see it right away. Should be like on top of your resume after your summary or like a profile overview. So just a section for your skills where you can just say customer service skills, problem solving skills. If you know how to like navigate and like manage a software, right, like add that as well, because those hard skills are important. So just like a section of soft and hard skills, it's very important, because if they see that you have experience, they, you know, like they might be like, okay, yes, like we want to talk with this person and want to learn more about their accomplishments and skills. Okay, do we have any questions? I know that somebody says actually I cannot turn on my camera. Oh, actually, Laura answered it. Perfect. Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds. If you have any questions, let us know. If not, I'm going to hop on the Devon's website and just show you some of the tools that Devon has available for all of you, and definitely take advantage of it, like use them, because they're very, I think, helpful. And, you know, you can just use them to help you with your resume, or, you know, like there's a section about like cover letter. So I can show you that right now. Oops. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the website. Okay, here. So this is the Devon website. Under resume tools, you will find the.
Oh, we're just seeing the PowerPoint right now.
Oh, it's in the PowerPoint. Okay, let me just see if I can.
Maybe if you minimize it, yeah.
Okay. Okay. How about now?
Yes, we're good. We're good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Awesome. So under resume tools, so this is actually the advanced page. Here you can find really great resources. All of our events are listed in here, so you can see what events are coming up. We have our resume tools. So in here you can find the resume builder. You can create, you know, like resumes based on the employer requirements. And if I just click on it, oops, just gonna take some time to load. So you have, you know, like you can start building your resume. There is a video to help you, you know, like navigate the, actually they can share how you can create your resume, how you can build on this website. So definitely take advantage of this, because there's so many things in here that can help you. You know, like getting started, you can watch the video for a useful overview of how to create like your resume or CV. You can work through the sections, you can follow the advice, you know, like provided, and you can pick your template and you can download your CV, and then you can tailor the resume for each role. I think we're going to touch base on that as well, how to tailor your resume according to the job description, because I think that's one of the most important things. But, you know, like I think this resume builder is a really nice thing, like to start creating your resume. And after that, you can tailor it according to the job description. We also have on the resume tool the resume scanner, where you can score your resume and see, like if the resume matches the job description, because probably you all heard about the ATS, the applicant tracking system. A lot of companies use ATS, and if you do not include keywords or just phrases from the resume, your resume might not get even be sent to, might not make the cut. So your resume might not even be sent to the hiring manager for them to review it. So the ATS, it has some, pros and cons, right? That's why it's very important to get the job description, save it. That's one of the advice that I give to everybody that is job searching. When you find a job, please copy and paste the job description in a Word document, highlight the keywords that you kind of see the things they're important, and include those words in your resume. So you can come here, use the resume scanner, and kind of compare it and see. There's also cover letter builder, something similar to resume builder. You can build also your elevator pitch, LinkedIn networking tool. So really great resources in here. We encourage to go on the Revamp page and take advantage of these great resources. We have also AI interview tool. There are some courses that you can, review and see if you're interested taking. There is the blog here. So a lot of great resources. So please take advantage of this website. So I'm going to go back now to the PowerPoint.
Oh, do you mind if I just add a couple things?
Absolutely, yes.
Perfect. Okay, so everyone can see this website. So I hope you guys noticed at just under the CV builder, there's a blue bar across there. So that has all the different aspects of what you would put in your resume. Yep, so perfect. Thank you, Dahlia. You'll also notice that skills is kind of in the middle of that blue bar. So you're gonna, when you fill it all out and everything, you're gonna wanna make sure that that skills section is up at the top. But it's a good place to have all of them written down and everything like that. But we do recommend that they're at the top just under your name or profile section. So also you'll notice on the right-hand side that we have videos. So if you're like, I don't know what they're talking about, please watch those videos. They do talk about ATS systems and things like that. All it is just like an applicant tracking system where it goes through a computer and they try to review your resume. If you don't have enough words, they're gonna reject it. So that's why we are emphasizing it so much. So just taking a look at those videos to get some context too might be really helpful. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay,
So I'm going to switch back to the PowerPoint. Probably have to stop sharing and then sharing it again, just to be on the safe side.
sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, can you all see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to review is I know that some of you send us your resume, so thank you so much for doing that. We are going to show the resume here, and we can provide you with some feedback. We can review them, and then if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask them, or type them in the chat window. So before we start, does anybody have any questions about what we have discussed so far? I know they take some time until you type your questions. So feel free to do so. So we will answer the questions. I just want to check if Iomi is here.
Oh, we just have a question to Dahlia. I believe this person's name is Renew. Says, I haven't made an account yet, but I can't see my institution in the sign up. That's okay. I would go to their career services office and just inquire about that a little bit further.
Okay. Okay, do we have Iomi?
Thanks, Luke.
Okay, if Iomi is here, can you just please type yes in the chat window? Okay, what about Samantha? Samantha Roberts? We want to review the resumes, like for the people that are currently joining this session.
Oh, so I think your name is O'Shea. Is this service free or simply made available to us as a student? So if your school is connected with Devant, most people are going to be able to just connect to use those services for free. If for some reason they're not, your school is going to have some really good resources as well, but most people should be able to access that website and use those resume tools just as part of the school's association with us. So they are free if you have it, for sure. So I would just inquire in the career services if you have any questions, because they'll know for sure.
Okay. Oh, I can see that share is here, so I can share their resume. Okay. So let me know if you can see the resume. Not yet? Okay. Probably it's because I have to share the entire screen. Like, I'm not sure what the issue is. Okay. Okay, what about now?
Yeah.
Perfect. So we can review this resume. Laura and I can review this together. So we can start with the first section where we also talked before about personal information. So I really like this here. O'Shea probably listed her full address. So to be honest, there is no need for you anymore like to list the full address. You can either add the town or city or just like the postal code, especially if you're like applying in a for a position that is like a little bit further from where you live, right? Just like include, like your town, or like don't even include anything, because some companies, and I know this, don't wanna hire if people don't live close by, because some of their experiences, because of the long drive, people quit like after like a couple of months. So sometimes they don't want to like interview some people that like live like 2 hours away, right? So that's why, like, I'm not saying that everybody does that, but sometimes people want to really hire like candidates that live like close by. So I think you don't want to like lose a chance of like maybe getting like an interview with a company. So my recommendation is to remove your address. You can just add the town, city, or like if you want, you don't have to include anything. Email address and phone number are important, because that's how the hiring managers and recruiters will like reach out to you. So make sure that those are correct, they're in there. I had an experience where a candidate put a wrong phone number and I was not able to reach him. And I tried a few times, and luckily I sent an email, and then he called and apologized. But if I didn't like send an email, or he didn't include his email there, he would have lost the opportunity, like to have an interview. So that's why I'm saying this to like all of the applicants. Make sure that like the contact information like is correct. So that's great. Next, career profile. I really like when I see this, and this doesn't have to be long, 3 to 5 lines the most, and including here the skills, like your strengths. So this is the time where you have to include your strengths. So you have enthusiastic IT operations professional, eager to contribute to team success through hard work, attention to detail, and excellent organizational skills. So those are your 3 like strengths. A dependable candidate, successful at managing multiple priorities with a positive attitude. So this is good, but you can always kind of like check the job description and read it, see what they're looking for, and you can change this career profile as well. So up until here, like, Laura, do you have anything to add?
So yeah, we're getting a lot of questions, which is fantastic. So we actually have all the resumes. These have been all sent in a few days beforehand, so we're not taking any more tonight. All of the information is relevant and standard, right? So every single thing we're saying about any one of these persons' profiles is going to be the same thing we would say about your profile as well. So what I would suggest is taking notes. You can even pull up your resume like on your screen and go through with us, or just refer to it. If you have any questions, let us know for sure. But everyone's resume should be following the same type of standards. So there's no worries about that. For the Devant services and things like that, so they are available if your school is a partner with them. Dahlia and I don't have that information on us right now, so you would have to ask the career services at your school. They will know for sure. Um, but yeah, no, if you have questions, just let us know. But I would just be really paying attention to all of these things because they're relevant and they're going to be the same for everyone. So you're going to be getting a lot of good info tonight, whether your resume is reviewed or not.
Exactly. Yes. And then one thing that like I want to recommend, maybe, like you don't want to waste a lot of like space on your resume because the resume should belong 1, 2 pages the most. Nobody's going to read like if you have more. So just maybe like the personal information should be like listed in here, where then after that you can focus on like career profile and experience, and everything can be like in one page. Because this is so okay, I'm gonna go to the next thing actually. So after that, yes, after your career profile, my recommendation, because I really like to see that on resumes, doesn't mean that like, oh, if you don't have this, you're not going to get an interview, you're not going to be hired. Just keep in mind, everybody has a different way like on doing the resumes, but there are some things that are like very important. But this thing about the skills, I think it's really nice to have. So maybe after career profile, a very like short section where you can list the skills that you have. You can start with your soft skills, and also you can list your hard skills. So soft skills are more, like consumer service skills, problem solving skills, organizational skills, and then hard skills are more your like technical skills. So if you know like how to navigate like a different program or a different software, if you work like with like a system, definitely like include it in here. For example, like in HR we use human resources informational systems, and there are like different ones. So I have experience using Bamboo, and I have experience using PeopleSoft. So there you can see that on my resume. It just says HRIS, and then in brackets I put Bamboo and then put PeopleSoft. So if I'm applying for a new job and some companies are using Bamboo, when they see it, they'll be like, oh, perfect. This applicant knows how to use Bamboo. So we don't have to, like invest time into like training this person. So that will really help them. But if I don't include that under my skills, I might not even mention it in my job description. Sorry, in my like in the description of my role. So they might not even know about it. So that's like my recommendation for all of you. If you have space on your resume, please include like a skill section where you just like list all of the skills. And if you're like in the IT like field, that would be amazing, because probably you have so many hard skills, technical skills that you can include in here. Okay. So that's kind of like, that's the first half of your resume. One line with your personal information, absolutely a career profile. And then after that, include a section about your skills. After that, I will focus on the experience. So when you talk about experience, you should not list so many bullet points, because I'm going to be very honest with you, not like a recruiter or hiring manager will read all of this. They all are looking for keywords, things that are listed on their job posting, and they're important for the applicant to have, because probably that's the majority of their responsibilities if they get the job. So make sure that you include the things that are listed in the job description. I would say for each experience, you should include 5, max to 7 bullet points. And you can make your bullet points a little bit longer. That could be like 1 line or 2 lines, but make sure that you like Laura mentioned before, instead of using tasks, just saying responsible for organizing fundraisers, maybe, like change that to like an accomplishment statement, where you can say raise like $10,000 when I organize, like the fundraiser, and also increase attendance. So like that's something that you can kind of like include, and you can show them, hey, like probably when they read that, they will think this person was responsible for this fundraiser. They raised over $10,000. Probably they have great strategy. and they would want to hear more, and then probably will invite you for an interview. So that's why we are all like, I don't want to say pushing, but we all say this to all of our, students, job seekers. Definitely include more accomplishment statements. Tell them how amazing you are. This resume it's you're selling, like your marketing tool. So you need to like sell yourself. You need to tell them the things that you did. But like probably you have here over 10 bullet points. So I would just like shorten this and include 5 to 7 bullet points for each of your experience. Laura, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so everything you're saying, I totally agree with. Well, a lot of, just so you know, everyone's resume that was sent in was really like, you could tell there was a lot of hard work put into it. So really good job there. I like that this person put a lot of adverbs at the very first, at the beginning of their bullet points, which is what every single person should be doing. So words like performed, deployed, configured, those are all the first words that should begin your accomplishment statement. So I just wanted to make a note of that. So we've also got a really good question just about how long resumes should be. 2 pages at the most. We have some people who think they should only be one. I think two is fine. What you want to think about though when you do 2 pages is every single thing should be extremely relevant. So I know like the other co-facilitator, Keelan, loves 1 page resumes, and I can understand why you put all the effort and make sure that every like good solid thing is in that page. So if you do write a second page, make sure it's as good as the first, and remember that everything from the first page at the top up is going to be the most important. So very good question. Yeah, and then I just wanted to talk about hard and soft skills as well. So that was a really good question as well. Sometimes people think with the hard and soft skills that that hard skills are the most important because they're things like, use Python and all that type of stuff. But HR professionals do look for soft skills as well. So a couple of ones that I would put in for sure, like without doubt, is that you have good verbal and written communication skills because every single job, no matter what you're doing, they're going to want that. And another one is going to be team working skills and the ability to work well independently. Every single job, whatever your field, they're going to want it. So those are the two soft skills, if you put in any, that I'd recommend the most. But yeah, this is really good so far. I believe this resume was about 3 pages. So I could be wrong, but I would suggest for formatting, I
Mhm.
like that there's a lot of white space, but you can widen the margins quite a bit. Also, sometimes making the accomplishment statements just one line helps. And what I do is I widen the margins. I make sure that the name of the company and everything is also widened, but that's how I make it fit. So yeah, that's a good one as well.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Another thing that I really like seeing when I review resumes, it's sometimes people will like put in like highlight or just like bold their like strengths or like their hard skill. So it's really like just like my eyes just like immediately goes like to that word. I'm like, oh, like this is amazing. This person like has this skills. So something that you want to consider like maybe like doing and see like how that works for you. And just I just wanted to add to the 1 page resume. As an HR manager, I prefer like 2 pages, and I think like it's perfect because kind of like gives you like all of the information that you need. 1 page, it's okay. Like I don't mind that too. But sometimes I find that 1 page resume are very crowded. So like the formatting, it's a little bit different, and you're like kind of like looking. There's so many things on 1 page, it can get a little bit overwhelming. Like that's all. But there is nothing wrong with having 1 page resume. That's totally fine. That won't like cost your job or anything. But if you have enough experience, I would definitely like like have 2 page resume. And just to go back again, first page should be your personal information, career profile, and definitely your most recent experience or experience that is like very close to the job that you're applying. After that, so about here, I think that I'm not sure if this is like was something with the formatting, but probably you don't need to have this on the resume because it's like all in one document. So I would definitely remove it. Like if you want to keep it, that's fine. But I personally will remove it because they already have all of the information in here and you are in their system. So they know who you are. They have your personal information. Another thing that I don't have on my resume, and it's something that maybe you guys would consider, I never like let an experience to overlap like on the second page. I never do that. Like for one experience, like would stay in one page, and then if it's the next page, I will start it like with another of my job experiences. So that's what I would do. But Oshia, if you just like shorten a little bit and remove some of the bullet points and keep it to like 5 to 7 bullet points, I think it would be pretty good. So you can have your first experience in here, and then after that you can have your other experiences. I like that you have okay, so you have perfect. So this experience 2009 to 2017. Okay, this is good. Another thing that I recommend, if you don't have room to list all of your jobs, I would put the most 2 recent jobs that you had, and the rest of the jobs I have listed as, I have a section called earlier roles, and I just put the job description and the company name. And I just list all of those without bullet points because these are the jobs that happened, you know, like 5, 10 years ago. We all know how the industry is changing so fast. There are always new things, new trends. So probably some of the things that happened like back then are not very relevant, you know, like to today's like trends. So I would just like list them as earlier roles, and I wouldn't even like add bullet points because it's kind of like from you know, like long time ago, or you already have 2 other jobs that are like pretty good and they tell a lot about, you know, like your experience. And then education, absolutely, education should be here at the bottom. If you are a new grad, if you're like right now in school and looking for a job, this section, education, should be on top of your resume. So employees will know that you're in school, that you're a new grad, and you're looking for a job. So I would put education just after career profile and your skills. So that would be like it will be like on the first half of the first page of the resume. So that is only for new grads. If you already have experience and you've been in the market for quite some years, education should be on the last page. Okay. And then I can see that O'Shea has like technical skills. This should not be on the last page. This tells so much about your experience, about your skills. These are 1 words, 2 words that tell me so much, you know, like what you have done in the past, what like skills you have. So this should be on the first page here after your career profile. Other than that, I think your resume looks great. There are like some small changes, but overall, like great job. I think let's see who else we have in here. So
So just, oh, sorry, I'll just add
oh yeah,
just
no,
one
no, go
thing.
ahead. Yes.
So I noticed when you see experience and it says our Hotel Kingston, St. Andrews, we don't know where that is. So I think just including the country or the province or wherever it's from is going to be helpful. And you just want to be consistent with that all the way along. That's something I did notice on other people's resumes too, is sometimes they had parts of the things like but they didn't have the other parts. So if you're gonna put like St. Andrews, let's say, and you should, wherever you got the experience, make sure you also include where it is.
Amazing. Yes, that's in like a really great point. What like I would recommend at the, like Laura said, at the town or city, then like comma, and then at the province, like Ontario, for example. So that will tell them if they have to look it up, it will be easy to find the city or the town. Okay, awesome. Do we have any questions before we move to the next resume?
So we actually do. I've just been looking at some in the
Perfect.
chat. Let's see here. Oh, I love this question. If you're a new grad, and you don't have any like job experience, what do you do? I was in this boat, everyone is. You want to make sure that that education section, like Dahlia said, right at the top under the skills section. When you put your education, please feel free and make sure that you highlight any classes you took that are of real importance to the industry, any projects as well. You can include all of those types of things. So I really encourage you to do that as well.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, like it's Katarina, not Dahlia.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
that's okay.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, I was like, oops, no worries. No, that's amazing. Actually, I just if you don't have any previous experience and you're a new grad, I will also recommend into looking into volunteering. That's
Yes.
something that it's amazing. If you have some free time, I would go like and look into some volunteer opportunities. There's so many things available there, and you can include that on your resume. You don't even have to tell them that it's a volunteer work. I mean, but what I meant by that is like you don't have to include as like a volunteer in your resume. You can just list it under experience because it is an experience. It's just you're not getting paid for that. But you will gain so much. And I feel like a lot of people, a lot of job seekers, they always forget about this part that there's like a volunteer positions available out there. They can actually give you like the experience that you want to get. And it's something that you can put on your resume. I see another question that said, what if I'm currently a student but have prior relevant experience? Should education still be on top? Absolutely. You should put that on top because you are currently a student. So and probably you are changing careers too, right? And even if you're not changing, if you're like still like just like upgrading, or you're studying here in Canada and your experience, sorry, in your education was from your home country, still that is your most recent education and you're considered a new grad. So that should be your education should be on top on the first page on the resume.
So
Any other questions?
we do have another one. Someone said, I have many years of experience. Can I convert some to volunteering? So if it is volunteer experience, definitely. You want to make sure it's relevant though. So, which most of it will be anyway. So if you're like, let's say working in the computer industry, but you've got skills working like on teams and stuff like that, that's something that you can put in as well to just enhance what you've said on the skills profile as well. Some volunteer work, people really like to see that. So don't be afraid to do that as well. So if it is somewhat relevant, which you can make it relevant in regards to the soft skills, yes, definitely put it in. Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay, awesome. I think we have like time for one more resume. I'm not sure if we have Jay Patel in here. No, we don't. Okay. What about Sunny Kumar? Okay, what about Prajay? All right. Okay, so I don't know if we have any of the people they send their resume in advance. So probably this is like a good time to share our bonus resume tips. I think we've been doing that throughout like the whole session. Sorry, do you have any questions?
So I was gonna say, did you get the second email that Keelan sent out with the additional
I
resumes?
did, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There was one I wanted to look at just so that people knew. It was in this email with them. It's the one that doesn't have a lot of info. It's like a one
Okay.
pager, but yeah,
Yes.
I just wanted to, um,
Perfect. We can review that right now. Okay.
we have a lot of questions here too. Should I keep the graduation date on my resume? Heard it creates bias. Good question. I do. It depends on how old. So sometimes people who have graduated in like the 80s or the 90s, they don't really want to keep it on there. But if it's like pretty recent, like 2008 or anything like that, that's completely fine as well. Um, yeah.
Okay. So I think this is the one that was one page
Yes.
and it was like short. Um, Yeah, do you want to start?
For sure. So we have a question here in the chat as well. Where do I put the LinkedIn profile? So Katerina, yes, at the top, you're going to put your LinkedIn profile where she's pointing her cursor, like where the cell phone email is. Anywhere at the top, that is where you put your LinkedIn profile uh, information. Okay, so this is a pretty good one. So we have the profile section, the key competencies. The problem, not the problem, but what can enhance this is we're going to want to fill in that white space a lot more, right? So some of the things here, like active participation in estimation projects with good problem solving skills. So what projects exactly, right? What kind of problem solving skills, right? There's a lot of different things that we can unpack there. Um, Able to draft and design complex structures using AutoCAD, what kind of structures, right? So just filling that out a little bit more. As you can see, there's a lot of space that can be used. So just adding those details is really important as well. Do you mind scrolling down a bit, Katerina? Yes, perfect. Education, okay. So here you can see they have their education, but they have a ton of space at the bottom. So this is a one pager, and below this, there's a lot of white space. So right here, like this person can be putting in all their projects, the courses they've taken, the skills they've gained, in addition to the ones that they've already listed on top. So there's a lot that can be done here. Same with the Bachelor of Technology in Civil Engineering. Any sort of relevant transferable skills, like anything like that, can all be utilized in that section as well. Um, some of the things here, this person has just from June to November. So I would recommend doing more of a, oh, I forget, it's not the chronological one, not the long chronological resume, but more of a practical resume.
The functional?
Functional resume, thank you, where they would put the experience that they have more on the bottom. So it's not as noticeable, right? Because it's not a lot of experience they have, but if they really highlight their education right there, and then at the bottom, talk about their experience a little bit more so that the recruiter is focusing on their education right up at the front, that's a really good way to go for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. And we on the functional resume actually works really well for people who don't have a lot of experience, or maybe there's like a gap in their experience, like what we see right here. Maybe like this person that hasn't worked since 2020. So if like that is the case, you have like a couple of years if you're in school and you didn't have, like any, like you didn't take any job, you were just like focusing on schools. I would definitely say that functional resume is the way to go, because like Laura said, you'll talk about your like career profile or summary, and then you have your skills and then education, and after it you start with your skills. So let's say you just start and say like customer service skills, I'm just saying this, and then like explain, like where you kind of like gain those skills and what you did. You can also use some accomplishment statements. So instead of you chronologically listing all of your experiences, you just like talk more about the skills that you have, like gain and learn at your previous jobs. So that's something that might work if you have some gap between, if you have some gaps in your employment history. The chronological resume, it's more if you have like experiences and you just like list them. But if you're like in this, like in the similar situation, absolutely the functional resume might be something that you can use until, like you gain that experience. Volunteering, again, I know that I'm repeating myself like with this, but like I can't stress how important it is and how many people forget about this. Can really help you, like get and listen interview, or like be just, like your resume might be like, oh, okay, like this person is good, we can kind of like interview him or like talk with this person that might be a good fit for their role. So think about that. Try to Google it, try to find some like volunteer position if you are really looking for a job that you want to put on your resume. And then another thing that I was talking about, you see how like in here they have the keywords like in bold. So this is really good because your attention immediately goes like into like in this, and like just say, okay, blueprint reading and drafting, Microsoft Office, construction safety. So if you work in construction, health and safety is number one thing. So it's nice that, you know, like they have knowledge about this. AutoCAD. So like these are all of like active team player, communication skills, the soft skills that Laura mentioned before. So like this is like a good thing that they have this listed in here. So this is something that I was just like saying that even if you put them a little bit in, like in bold, it might like they might get like noticed like pretty fast, because again, recruiters and hiring managers, they spend like 10 to 15 seconds just reviewing your resume, unfortunately. Okay, do we have any questions? I know that Laura, you've been like answering those in the chat, so that's amazing. You've been busy. But I know that we have like, oh, I wanted to open another resume, if that's okay, just to show. I think we had like, this looks like a one-page resume, but it's not, but I just wanted to show. So I really like this resume because this person has like really like put everything in one page, and you can find everything that you need to know, the experience, the education, skills listed. So this is what I'm talking about when I say list your skills. So here I don't even need to like read like through like all of the bullet points. I just see the skills that they have, and I'm like, okay, like if I'm looking for somebody that knows like C++ or Python, I'm like, yep, this is the person that we might like interview, and I can look like in the years of experience they have. So this is really good, but like the only thing that is like, it's too busy. So maybe, you know, like some of the things can be listed like in the second page. I know that they list all of their certifications. This is great. They have their achievements. For references, I don't know, like with references, as an HR manager, I don't look for that in a resume, because if I will ask for references, if we like want to offer like a job to that applicant. So there's no need to list references on your resume that will like take up space. I would want you to focus on your achievements, your accomplishments, your skills, rather than, you know, like taking space on just like listing your references. I know that most of the hiring managers and recruiters will ask for that if they consider you, you know, like to be one of the applicants that will like potentially get the job. But I really like to show this because this is really good. Everything that the recruiter needs to know, it's kind of like in here. So you see like strengths, like all of the skills, technical skills here. These are soft skills. So this resume was kind of like I could read, like learn a lot about this, you know, like candidate. I'm like, okay, this candidate has like experience and they're familiar with this type of, you know, like software, or they have these hard skills. But again, it just like looks too busy for me. Like, I'm not sure, Laura, what do you think?
It's very busy. I did notice this as well. You'll notice that like it's pleasing to the eye somewhat, like other
Yes.
than it being so busy, like it's, you know, and this is why we say not to use templates. Just because like as Katerina was mentioning, like it is a bit like even though it's nice to look at, it's too busy. For sure. And it's gonna be really hard for the ATS to read it. I think Katerina might have mentioned that as well. So yeah, you're just gonna want to make it simple. I'm not sure if this resume is a two-pager or not, but
Yeah, me neither. It looks like it's two-page,
so it
but
kind of is, but kind of is,
yeah.
right? So they're not
Yeah.
utilizing all of the space.
Thanks.
So
Yeah.
this was a really good one to look at for sure. They could be taking a lot of this the things that are on the right column and putting it down below.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, so I think that is,
And no references. So you'll scroll down a minute.
oh
Yeah, so
yeah,
the references shouldn't be there. If they want your references, they'll know where to contact you.
exactly. Yeah. Like usually they will contact you like if you like I said, like if you are considered like for an offer, you know, like that's when they kind of like that's the last step. They will call the references, and if the reference is good, then like they can proceed to offering you. But don't use the space for references. Definitely use it for something else. Accomplishment, skills, something that will tell them about, you know, like you and your experience. Okay, awesome. So we can go back to the PowerPoint. I think we did like we shared a lot about resume and, you know, like things that you should include and things that maybe you should remove. I just want to say like the resumes that we reviewed, they were all like really great. Like Laura said, we can see that you put like so much work, just like providing you feedback. This is not like negative feedback. This is like I want to call it like constructive feedback, right? We just want to share, you know, like we tell you, like give you some advice and share some resources so you can make your resume better, that will get you, you know, like more interviews and, you know, like like potentially like down the road, you will get the dream job. So that's the goal here. So the last kind of like part of today's workshop is to also share some bonus resume tips. I know that we've been like talking a lot about resumes and what you should include, but I can start my like resume bonus tip. I know that we talk about like job descriptions and tailoring your resume according to job descriptions, but I want to talk about master resume. I'm not sure if like a lot of people are familiar with this term, but this is my bonus resume tip. So a master resume is actually a document that can be like 20-page long if you want to, but in here you include everything. And this is something that you don't share with anybody. This is something that you keep for yourself. But in here, you list all of your accomplishments, all of your strengths, all of your experiences, your courses, your volunteer experience. And then from the master resume, when you read the job description and highlight the keywords that are important, you copy and paste some parts and you include in your targeted resume that you're going to send to the employer. So in that way, you don't have to like type and think of new stuff, because probably you will have created your accomplishment statements. You will have like created a really nice bullet points for your job, right? And then like based on what the job description or the job posting has included in there, what they're looking, you can just like add those bullet points to your like experience. So that's my advice. Like, I know a lot of people don't know about master resume. I would like start working on that document, like include everything in there. So in that way, if like somebody's looking for a specific, like experience or a specific skill, if you have that, you can scroll and like, you'll be like, oh my goodness, yes, I did this in this job. So you can add that as kind of like a skill, because sometimes we forget all of the things that we did in a particular job. So it's important to have that master resume where you will list like all of your skills, accomplishments, even create accomplishment statements about the things that you have accomplished during your, like work experience. And you can just like, copy that accomplishment statement, paste it in your resume, and you can kind of like send your targeted resume. So I think you should have two things. One, it's a master resume. The other thing is like a targeted resume that you're going to change according to the job description. And that is the resume that you're going to share with your, with the employer, or like you're going to like submit if you're applying for a job. So that's my tip for you today. Laura?
Awesome. Thank you, Katerina. I'm so sorry, by the way. I worked with Dahlia before.
No worries
It was
at
a
all.
pleasure, and I just keep mixing the
No,
names up.
no, that's totally fine.
So just before that, Katerina's was awesome saying all her stuff. We did have a really good question when Katerina and I were talking about volunteering is how do we find volunteer experiences? So charityvillage.ca, CHARITY VILLAGE.ca. I put that in the chat as well. They have different opportunities from everywhere. So definitely check out charityvillage.ca if you're like, I need some experience, but I don't have any. You can find something there for sure. Bonus resume tip. Oh, one thing I did want to talk about as well is that the names, your heading should be on every page that should just be on both pages. So if you have a 2-page resume, your heading should be the same on both pages. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was clear. So just copy and paste the one at the first page, make sure it's on the second page. And if you're using a cover letter, make sure the same one is on the cover letter as well. I mean, yeah, no, that's probably a pro resume tip for me. The skills are really important. I really liked how Dahlia was talking about the skills and qualifications section at the top. Please do that. That's really important. A nice, concise profile section can be great. One thing that's really good about those is that Katerina was saying this best as well, is it gives the HR person a snapshot of what kind of to expect. Utilize that area as much as possible. Keywords, different things like that. Make sure you're really highlighting yourself there though, so that they're really excited to look beyond that.
Perfect. I also share a couple of volunteer links volunteer match and you and we volunteer might be helpful to look, because I know that in there they post a lot of like online, like remote volunteer jobs where you can just, like go apply and then you can do your work like online, which is amazing. It's remote, so you don't have to go anywhere. You can work like, like the schedules are flexible. So something to definitely like check it out. Please discuss about ATS. So we have like 4 more minutes. We can talk a little bit about that. So I can start. The ATS, it's the applicant tracking system. A lot of big companies like the banks or the hospitals, they use this ATS system because they're hiring for so many roles. They're receiving like thousands of resumes. So this system helps them just, like kind of like sort and send them, pick the best applicants for the job. How the ATS works, it's they pick up on keywords first. So that's the first thing. So in the job description, I'm going to use some HR terms. I think that's kind of like easy to explain. Sorry, not HR terms, like some HR like skills that we use. So for example, like in HR, we look for people to have recruitment experience or like experience with performance management if I'm like hiring for like an HR coordinator or an HR generalist. So if I use an ATS, if like those are the 5 skills that I'm highlighting, if I just say I need this person to have recruitment skills, performance management skills, and maybe like have experience with bamboo, if I'm using an ATS, the ATS will sort through the resumes and pick up on those skills. If like the job applicant read the resume, highlight those skills and include it in the posting, probably that resume will be sent to me and I can review it and see if I wanna, like interview them. So that's the first goal of the ATS. ATS also picks up on formatting. So if your formatting is not good, if like Laura said, if like there's too busy, if there are like too many things, if you use like templates, also like the ATS will not pick up that and your resume will not be sent to the hiring manager. So I would recommend to actually, like maybe do some research on the ATS, see what are like some of the things that are kind of important and you need to pay attention when you apply for jobs. But those are the first 2 things that I always kind of like look. Sorry, like say to job seekers, first, it's to include keywords from the job descriptions in their targeted resume, and also they're not to use like templates, just have like a very simple, like formatting, like make sure that your resume is easy to read. There's no like spaces between, like one section and another. It like looks nice and concise, okay? And then I was going to say something else, but I kind of like lost my train of thought. Yeah, like those are kind of like the 2 things. About the I think there are a couple of websites where you can upload the job description and then upload your targeted resume and see if your resume will kind of like pass the test. So that means that if your resume has a bunch of the keywords that are included in the job description, it means that, oh yeah, like your resume will be sent to your to the hiring manager and you have a chance, like to receive a call from an interview. I think JobScan, it's very popular, so you can look that up. Just like don't fully, like I don't want to say believe, but like check it, but like don't think, oh, if like JobScan shows like just my resume matches the job description 30%, that's it, I'm not going to get the job or I'm not applying. Sometimes that tool like is created for you to get the paid version because it's free. So like so you can kind of like subscribe and get like that service. There is a free version that kind of like can give you some idea what you should include to your resume. So you use it, but don't fully, like believe and think, oh, if like the results are bad, then like I won't get like a job. So that's not always the case. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. I think we answered all of the questions. We had a really great discussion. I want to thank you all for joining us today. I really hope that this was helpful. And like after our workshop today, you can go and like work on your resume a little bit. The recording will be sent to your by email, probably in the next couple of days. Please check the event page. We have a couple more events for September. Please like join us, and I hope that I'll see you again. Thank you so much.
Katerina, could you see my the things that I was sending on the chat?
Uh,
So were you able to see the www.charityvillage.ca?
No, actually, it wasn't a link. It wasn't a hyperlink. I can see it, but it's not a hyperlink.
Okay, yeah,
Is that what
not
you're
that's
asking?
fine.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
make sure you could see it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, we can. Yeah, we can see it.
okay, so the links aren't active, so you're actually gonna have to go into Google and www.charityvillage.ca, or you can even just write in Charity Village Volunteer right into your Google search browser, and it will come up.
Yes. Okay.
Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks for joining us.